Coming up next, tips to stand out in your new job in your first 90 days and why employees are quitting rather than returning to the office. And we take your calls, and it starts right now. All right, coming to you live from Ramsey Studios in Nashville, you have joined a conversation about who you are, what you were created to do, where you want to do it, and how to get there. In other words, how to do what you were born to do. Life is way too short for you to just be in a job. You really think that all there is to work is just holding down a job? Oh, there goes my chat on the old computer. I hate when I do that. I forgot to turn the volume down. Let's see if we can get that. All right, very good. The inevitable text message that comes through while you're live on the air. But we're excited to be with you because this conversation matters. I'm just coming out of a meeting this morning talking about you folks. Specifically those of you who don't love what you do. And you think that there's no way for you to make more money and make more impact. To actually do something you love and make enough money. You've been beaten down by cultural philosophies, bad habits, environments that you've been in where you look at work as just, this job, it sucks. And here's what I know. Being stuck is a choice. It's your choice. You're not stuck because of someone else. You're stuck because you refuse to try to get out. You're making excuses. So if I got to kick you in the pants today or the next day, I will. Because you're just too stinking important to this world. You were created to fill a unique role in your work. You were needed. You must do it. Somebody out there needs you to be the best version of you. It's time for you to get off the stinking bleachers of life and get in the game. 844-747-2577 is the number. Your calls in just a minute. But first, all right. You just started. You just want to start right? So those first 90 days, many companies like Ramsey Solutions will do a 90-day review. I mean, we're going to hire you, but we're also going to see if you are acting in the interview, if you're a liar, or if you get in and you can't handle it. It's fair. 90-day reviews, I'm all for it. It's good policy. So how do you win in the 90 days? Because you're being looked at. I mean, they're looking for reasons to keep you or reasons to not keep you. So how do you win in the first 90 days? I want to break it down very simply. 3 main points, and we'll dive into them. First point is you need to reestablish what a win looks like in your job. Now, you went through this in the interview process, and hopefully you were able to understand, and it was made clear to you what a win would look like for you. This is what we need you to do, okay? At Ramsey Solutions, we have a document that everybody in the building has, and it's called Key Responsibility Areas. It's like, hey, here's what you're supposed to do. These are your key responsibilities. So in other words, a win is when you do these responsibilities well. Simple. But you'd be surprised at how many companies don't outline these things. So you're going to have a snapshot at worst, a super detailed picture at best. But even with a super detailed picture, it's always good in that first week to reestablish with your leader, hey, I want to make sure we're on the same page as we get started. These are my responsibilities, and I want to get any other detail that you want to add. What are my priorities on this list? Do we have a list? If we don't have a list, let's get those key responsibility areas. If they don't do it, there's nothing that says you can't go to them and say, hey, I was listening to this radio show and this guy talked about a 1-page key responsibility areas document that is really smart for people. And I'd love to create that with you so that I know exactly what my priorities are to help our team win, help you win. Even an unhealthy leader is going to go, okay, I'm down with that. And by the way, throw in the added bonus that they can measure you on this. You want to be measured. But you can't be measured if we don't know what we're measuring. And some leaders are awful. They're terrible leaders. They don't know how to do this. Do it for them. So number 1, reestablish what a win looks like. First week. Okay? Number 2, deliver on those results. You got 90 days. You ought to think of it. I got 90 days to really build my brand by delivering results based on what I've been told by my leader, and getting it in writing is awesome. Not just for you, but for them. Deliver on those results. Go above and beyond the results. And then number 3, build relationships. This is where a lot of people just kind of go on autopilot when they start a new company, and I get it. They're trying to deliver, and they're working hard to get their head down. If you do those first 2 things, you're going to do very well. Okay? You will. But you'll do great if you are intentional to build relationships. That's true connection with your teammates, with your leader, getting to know them. What do they like? What kind of food do they like? What sports? What music? What movies? What do their kids do? Be interested in others and build relationship, build connection points. Well, I know Larry likes to talk cars. So I don't know much about cars, but I can watch an auction here or there, or I can read something I can find, and I can go, hey, what's the latest on? I read about this thing, this new Tesla or whatever, and watch Larry light up. Well, Becky's into sci-fi movies. So if there's ever been a sci-fi movie you like, or sit down and go, hey, top 5 sci-fi movies all time. If there's only 5 I could watch, which one would you recommend? Becky's going to light up. Well, what are we doing there? We're establishing connection points, which build into relationships. And let me tell you something. Don't forget this little key point, that people must like you before they trust you. Does that make sense to you, Joe? People got to like you before they trust you. Have you ever trusted somebody before you liked them?
No, I haven't. Never.
Amanda, have you ever trusted somebody before you kind of liked them, even if it was at first impression?
No.
Yeah. It's hard to trust a doctor that's kind of a jerk to you. I mean, think about that for a second. Even a doctor who you presumably know has done the schooling, and they got the licensing, all the things, and they're kind of a jerk to you. You kind of go, I don't know if I really trust that doctor. Don't underestimate likability is my point. So there's the 3 things. Reestablish what winning looks like. If you did not get a key responsibility area document in the interview process right when you were hired, create one. Reestablish what winning looks like. What are the expectations? What are the priorities so that you can crush it, over-deliver in the first 90 days. Number 2, that is, in fact, what you must do. Deliver results. They just need to see unbelievable results. And number 3, build relationships. Become likable. Win with people. You do that, fabulous way to start. 844-747-2577. 844-747-2577 is the phone number. Let's go to Michelle in Indianapolis, Indiana. Michelle, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hi, thanks for taking my call.
You bet. What's up, Michelle?
Yeah, so I am near the end of grad school. I'm studying master's in nonprofit administration. The plan for the last 7 years has been to open up a nonprofit reentry center for women coming out of prison.
Oh, wow.
I feel like I have all the tools to do this.
Okay.
I love learning. So when I thought about this, my first instinct was, well, get another degree. So I did. But now I'm at the end of that, and I'm terrified to start. I'm terrified of failing. I have never been this way in my life. But now I'm just terrified to actually open it and start, and then it totally crash and burn.
Okay. What happens if you launch this thing and it crashes and burns? Tell me the negative things that come out of that. I'm serious.
Well, I refuse to take out debt, so that's not going to be a problem. I start over with something new, I guess.
Okay. But what happens? What are the negative effects to you personally and professionally if you start this nonprofit and it goes up in smoke? I understand you're not going to be in debt. Oh, you can't think of any?
No. I mean, all of my friends and family are supportive, so if it crashes and burns, then it just wasn't meant to be.
So you're not going to have any negative financial fallout? I know you're not going into debt. Okay.
No, I haven't invested anything. I just got off of a fund development class, which gave me a lot of confidence in fundraising.
So you don't need the income. So you have...
No. My husband can totally financially provide for us.
Okay.
And he will be. I'm leaving my job in August to start this.
Okay. So best I can tell, because you're not going to go into debt. You won't have a millstone of debt around your neck. You will not be homeless living under a bridge.
No.
And you will not be deserted by your friends and family.
No.
Why in the world are you so freaking terrified?
I don't know.
I don't buy it. There's a reason. And you should look. Now, hold on a second. You just told me that there were no negatives other than, well, you didn't tell me any negatives. I know what the negatives are. And in the answers you gave me is what you're really afraid of. So I'm going to push you one more time, and I want you to tell me what you're really afraid of, because you know.
Failing.
Yes. But it's deeper than that. You're not just afraid of failure, because you're not actually going to be deserted by your friends and family. You're not going to be homeless. Okay? So what are you really, really afraid of beyond failing? It's deeper than failing. What are you afraid of? Take yourself to that moment. This thing has been a miserable failure. What are you truly afraid of? Say it.
Letting people down.
Yeah, you're afraid of what other people are going to think.
Yeah.
It's not letting people down. You're not letting anyone down. Who are you letting down? You tried to help women. You helped some women in the process, but the only way this thing goes up in smoke is if you run out of money and you can't do it anymore. But the fact of the matter is, whether you have a nonprofit or not, you could go find one woman today that's coming out of prison in the next 30 days in your area, and you could find a way to connect with that woman and offer to help her, whether you had a nonprofit or not. True or false?
Yeah, I could.
So who are you letting down? You're not letting anyone down. You're afraid. You're like me. You're a performance person. You're driven to succeed, and you want to win. And you want to win really stylistically, right? You want people to go, "Oh, this is the greatest thing."
I'm a perfectionist.
Yeah, well, you're not. When somebody tells you they're a perfectionist, they're not a perfectionist. You know what they really are?
A control freak.
Yep. And the reason for the control is fear. You got to get over. You got to get over what anybody might think if this thing doesn't work. Who gives a crap? Why are you wanting to do this? Tell me the why. And don't give me some marketing answer.
No, I know the reason I want to do this. I've met so many men or women in prison who just feel like they can't get back on their feet.
That's
After
exactly
they get
right.
out, they've kind of been crippled in a way of being in prison. I think that a lot of them are grateful for it, but they don't have the tools or the resources because they weren't in the world to learn them.
Why? Why do you want to help those men and women? Why? You just told me.
Well, I think I want to help everybody.
No.
I think that.
Why do you want to help those people? It's not just because of that.
They need it the most.
Yeah, but why? Why those people? What connects to your heart?
I have a pen pal on death row in Ohio.
That's what it is. Now we're getting somewhere. I want you to remember the personal experience that's driving this. You were giving me great stats. You were giving me great marketing copy. I want to know what freaking moves your heart. And what moves your heart is the pen pal that's on death row that you know in their heart has been restored and rehabilitated, yet they got to pay. And that has opened up this whole space. Am I right now? Now are we talking real?
You're touching on it. Yeah, I just have a deeper desire too. One of my top strengths as a developer. So I see these gifts in people and I want to bring them out. And it just hurts me so much to see that these people aren't given a chance.
You know what this is? I know what it is now. Your deep passion is restoration for people.
Yes.
Oh, did you hear what just happened? What just happened there? What just happened when I just said a double-syllable word, 3-syllable word? What happened? What emotionally just happened when I said that?
My heart lit up.
All right. So good. That's the reason why you called. I didn't know at the start. That's it. That's your word. That's not just your word. That's your total mission is restoration, serving others for restoration. So you can't fail. Your nonprofit may take a long time to get off the ground. Okay, that's fine. But we're never going to shut the doors because we're never going to want to stop helping restore people. I want you to be less concerned about the nonprofit and how much money it raises in the first year, how much money it raises in the second year. I want you to stop worrying about, well, I'd love to change recidivism rates by 5% in my county over 5 years. All those things are lofty and all those things are great. I just know you already. You got all these big, lofty, glitzy goals that are coming from your heart. Am I right?
Yeah.
And that's what's intimidating the absolute snot out of you.
Yeah.
Stop. Michelle, who cares about the nonprofit? Just go help 5 women in one prison. And then sit back and learn, what did I do right? What did I do wrong? What could I have done better? What do I want to do differently? And help 5 more women, and then 5 more. Then we'll worry about all the fancy stats and hiring an executive director and a marketing and a website. Just go help women and men who want a chance. Do you hear me?
Yeah, I do.
The nonprofit.
I like that idea.
Yeah, I know. It's not so stressful, is it?
No, it's not at all.
The organization will grow off of the momentum that you create, not out of your wonderful business plan. Go help people. Go help more people. Then go help more people. Start telling everybody about it because they're going to tell people, but just go deliver results. You think that those stories aren't going to tell themselves? You need to stop worrying about marketing and promotion. You need to go help people because of that deep, abiding love of restoration. Let restoration lead you. Everything else takes care of itself. Now, you are done on this phone call because you need to stop worrying and stop fretting and stop planning, and you need to start helping, serving, loving, guiding, deliver results. The nonprofit will grow on its own. 844-747-2577. Let's go to Will in St. Louis, Missouri. Will, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hey, Ken, how are you?
I'm living the dream. What are you doing?
Hey, so my question is, little preface to it. I'm planning on moving out of St. Louis at the end of the summer. And currently I work for a mortgage company as an assistant to a bunch of loan officers. I'm working the baby steps, though, and my problem is that on a day-to-day basis, I am trying to pay off my debt, but I have to put people hundreds of thousands of dollars into debt in order to pay mine off. So I just feel grimy and dirty and disingenuous every single day when I come home for doing my job.
Okay, listen, you got a great heart and you're on fire. You're gazelle intense. And this switch, it's like you put on different glasses because of the Ramsey show and Ramsey Solutions. And now you see the world through completely different lenses, but you're overcorrecting. You're creating an issue that doesn't exist. Let me explain. Based on what you know about Ramsey Solutions, Dave Ramsey and the baby steps, do we consider a person to be debt-free even if they have a mortgage on their home?
Yes.
Yes, we do. Which means we don't think that you're an evil sinner if you still have a mortgage on your home.
Mm-hmm.
Would you agree with that statement?
Yeah, my issue with it is just some of the people that we are working to get a home. I mean, I'm the person that gets to look at the credit reports and the bank statements and all that stuff. And I just want to take these people, put my arm over their shoulder and say, like, hey, maybe it's time to wait for this. Like, let's not do it right now. Let's take a little time. Let's save up the money.
Hold on a second. What's saying that you can't do that?
Well, then nobody gets paid. I mean, my loan officers would be furious if I did that because then they wouldn't get their commission checks and that.
Wait a second. You're acting
mentality.
like, okay, but that's assuming then that everybody you come across you think should not be getting a mortgage.
Not everybody, just some.
Okay, how many? How many are some on a monthly basis?
I mean, usually meet 1 to 2 people, maybe 3.
Okay, so out of 1 to 3, if you, in conversation, with them, go, listen, I can get you the loan. We can do this. I just don't know if you should do this, and here's why. I think you should wait a little bit. What do you think each of those 3 people are going to do if you were to say that to them, the thing that you feel that you should say to them? What do you think they're going to do?
they're either going to thank me for it or they're going to hang up and go to another mortgage company and do it all again.
Exactly. So is it your responsibility? Now, listen, if you want to change careers, that's fine. And I'm going to help you do that. But I want to just address this. You're not peddling something that is illegal or immoral. I just want to help you separate that. That's all I'm trying to do. I'm not trying to talk you into continuing to give loans to people who shouldn't get them. But I'm saying you have options. You're not going to put anybody in the poorhouse if you send these people the other way. But guess what? They're going to go to another mortgage company.
Mm-hmm.
So,
True.
I mean, I just don't want you to beat yourself up. But if you want to go do something else, it needs to be in your sweet spot. It needs to be in an area that you are good at, an area that you enjoy, and an area that creates results that matter deeply to you. And there's no question that you are not on mission right now because you don't feel good about some of the situations where people are using your product. So that's missional. You're not creating results that matter to you, correct?
Correct.
Yeah, you feel bad about it.
The original question that I had was like, because I'm feeling this way and I know that I'm leaving the area in a few months, should I just go should I keep doing what I'm doing until I get to the new city I'm moving to?
Yeah.
Or should I just drop it, do part-time jobs, side gigs?
You know what? If you can replace your income with part-time jobs and side gigs for 2 months, sure. I have no problem with that. But I don't want you leaving this job with 2 months to go because you're beating yourself up. That's why I made the speech I made. I know what you were asking me, but I got to get you to the right emotional state.
Yeah.
For you to be able to understand what decisions you should make. So I'm fine if you want to leave the job today. I don't care. But I'm not going to advise you to make a bad financial decision because you're not doing anything immoral. You're not doing anything wrong. And if you're leaving in 2 months anyway, this is a fresh start you need. Now let's go do something. If you want to stay in the finance world, then get excited about doing something that doesn't conflict with your values. So there's my answer. Sure. If you can replace your income over the next 2 months doing something else, yeah, leave. If you can't, or it's going to be a struggle, I just don't know why you would take a step backwards when you're leaving in 2 months anyway. Make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Does that answer your question? You got anything else?
No, that helps out a lot. It answers, so I really appreciate it.
Yeah, listen, you're a good dude, man. Okay? I want you to take the robe of guilt off your shoulders. You're not a bad guy. Okay?
Okay.
All right, good. 844-747-2577. Quick break. When we come back, we'll get in the news and maybe another phone call. Don't move. This is the Ken Coleman Show.
We were drawn to Christian Healthcare Ministries because we both had young families and we wanted to have more children. And we had also just started a real estate company and needed to find healthcare coverage that would meet our needs.
We were attracted to CHM because of its low monthly costs and the ability to negotiate medical costs down.
Established in 1981 and accredited by the Better Business Bureau, CHM is here to meet the needs of your growing family or small business. Check us out at chministries.org.
We absolutely believe in it.
Hey folks, Ken Coleman with you. If you've ever had to look for a job, you know it's stressful. Combing through job openings and feeling lost in the shuffle. ZipRecruiter knows that the general experience of looking for a job is pretty sucky. That's why they figured out a way to make it unsucky. When you sign up on ZipRecruiter.com, you can create a free profile. Then you get matched to great jobs, plus a lot more. Go to ZipRecruiter.com right now to sign up, absolutely free, and put ZipRecruiter to work for you. Welcome back to the Ken Coleman Show, where we help you discover what you were born to do and then actually do it. 844-747-2577. So excited to have you with us. Hey, real quick, if you are watching live or even later, we're live 12:24 Eastern Standard Time. If you're watching later, give us a like both times. Give us that thumbs up right below the video window. Subscribe and share. We're growing. We need your help. And because we are growing, and I need your help to spread the word. Hey, folks, this is a different kind of show over here. If you want to do something you love, This guy can help you do it. You got the answers. He'll pull them out of you. You want to get promoted. You want to make more money. You want to move up the ladder. Fear's holding you back. You know you're supposed to start something new, but you're stuck. Tell people, let's get a crowd over here. Let's help some people out. All right, time for In the News. From Bloomberg, headline, this drove me nuts. Employees are quitting instead of giving up working from home. The drive to get people back into offices is clashing with workers who've embraced remote work as the new normal. Now, I hope, Madison, that these are people who have financial wherewithal and lots of options. But something tells me that's not the case with all these folks. Take Portia. And I'm not picking on Portia, but she's featured in the story. First sentence in this Bloomberg article: a 6-minute meeting drove Portia to quit her job. She'd recently taken a position as a research compliance specialist in February, enticed by the promises of remote work. Then the company changed their mind, which companies can do and will do. Final straw. So the media invites piled up. The final straw. Listen to the language of this article. This is a reporter that's talking to this woman. The final straw came a few weeks ago when an in-person gathering scheduled for all of 360 seconds. She got dressed, dropped her 2 kids off at daycare, drove to the office, had a brief chat, and decided she was done. Really? Her quote, I just had it. I couldn't do it. It's too much. To go to the office, have a meeting. Now, quick pause. Okay, I get that it was not a very long meeting. Okay? But it doesn't matter. You can't just tell companies, yeah, I'm only going to remote work. And if they change that, you can't just go, no, you can quit. And she quit. And good on Portia. Good for her. She quit. But if this is some of you that are watching this and you go, hey, I really liked working from home. I want to work from home. And I don't like it when they make me come into meetings. Well, let me tell you something. Good luck. Go job hopping. That's fine. But this is an attitude issue that I do not like. Listen to this. There's the notion that some bosses, particularly those of a generation less familiar with remote work, that's a nice way of saying older people, are eager to retain tight control of their minions. Listen to what she says. They feel like we're not working if they can't see us. It's a boomer power play. It's a boomer power play. This is what irritated me. And this is all I'm going to address. You work for the company. They sign your paycheck. Remote work absolutely is a viable option for some companies, and it has proven to work. But just as many positive stories that are out there on remote work, there are just as many negative stories. And the data is clear. Culture suffers. It just does. But if your culture is okay with that, fine. But some companies want a culture of people being in the office and all the benefits that come with that. And if you don't like that, stop turning this into, they don't value me. It's a boomer who's old and outdated, and they just want to control me. Give me a freaking break. I am all for you deciding what you want to do. But good luck if you're going to use remote work as a demand. We'll just see how that plays out. Good luck. I can't believe someone would quit over having to go into the office and have a meeting. Now, some of you are going, Ken, you're not very sensitive. She's the working mother. She has 2 kids she has to drop off at the daycare, and I understand what she's going through. Oh, give me a freaking break. My wife has been a working mother. Give me a freaking break. I hope that Portia and others, and they're trying to make this out like this is a big thing. By the way, 13% of people out of a recent survey said they're prepared to leave their job if they're going to be forced to come in. Okay, great. I'd like to know the 13% in their situation. They are either financially flexible and able to do that, or B, they're idiots. How do you like that, Joe? I don't know. Because if you're going to walk from a situation that otherwise is a good situation for you professionally, all because you don't want to go into the office and you want to work in your sweatpants all day long, again, I get no problem with people working in their sweatpants, Joe. I'm not anti-sweats. Okay? I love a good pair of sweatpants. This isn't about that. This is about you being a functional member of society, and you can't just I'm taking my toys and going home. Tough. Go. But don't act like you've been dishonored, like some boomer doesn't value you because they want you to come to the office for a freaking meeting. What's wrong with you? Grow up. Joe, I think this can all be tied back to everybody gets a trophy.
Yep.
By the way, that's somebody's going, oh, Ken's a boomer. No, I'm not. I'm Gen X. You give everybody a trophy, then everybody goes, well, I don't want to come into work. You can't make me come into work. Well, you're right. I can't physically force you to come in, but if you don't come in, I'm going to fire you. Good grief.
I think she had other problems. It's not an age thing. It's a business thing.
I know, Joe, but this is where, we take a headline. By the way, this is a separate rant. Employees are quitting instead of giving up working from home. Bull crap. A small percentage of people are. Those people are spoiled. Oh, here's a word, Joe. Privileged. It's true, though. They are. Or they're just idiots. And there you go. Spare me. Listen, I knew this was going to happen on remote work. And again, I'm not anti-remote work. I think it can work in some situations. But good grief, she was given the remote work job, but she was asked to come in for some meetings. What's your freaking problem? Grow up. Come up with a better solution for your kids. I get it's tough, but give me a break. Oh, they just don't value me. I'm leaving. Okay, wonderful. 844-747-2577. Let's go to Little Rock, Arkansas, where Tyson joins us. Tyson, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hey, sir. How's it going today?
Tyson, I'm living the dream. What are you doing?
I'm good. Just talking to you. Happy to share with you my question.
All
my
right.
question is, I'm currently in the military, and I've got about a year left in my contract. I'm in grad school, about halfway through my Master's of Finance, and looking to get closer to my wheelhouse. I believe I've got what it takes to contribute more in the service, but I want to get more in my wheelhouse and closer to my proximity principle.
All right. So what's the wheelhouse? Where are we going?
So I've got a business finance background, prior military, joined a little later in life, been just 3 years. Been in the technical engineering field in the Air Force, and proud to do it. Just want to get closer to that business and finance skill set.
Okay, great. So really, you're clear. If you look at my 7 stages, let's walk through for the audience and for you where you are. You are ready to step into, get qualified. You may already be qualified, and that's so you're clear. You're clear on what you want to do, why you want to do it. That's stage 1.
Yes, sir.
Stage 2 is, what do we need to do to get qualified? Are you already qualified, or are there a few things you need to do?
There are a few things I need to do from a process standpoint. So I'm actually got a couple options right now. One of them is cross-training into another career field.
Great.
And so with that, I'll need to, speak to folks who are SMEs in that field, perhaps like contracting and being a healthcare administrator, things like that.
Perfect. So that's what you need to learn and do. That would be the education and experience. Can you afford that? Do you have the financial means to be able to do that?
To speak with them?
No, to get qualified. To do the things you just told me you need to do. Do you have the money to be able to do that? Is it costly or is it affordable?
No, it's affordable. I mean, I can just network through the network.
Oh, it's not like some type of certification or something.
Correct. No, it's not.
Okay, great. Oh, so there's no cost at all.
No.
Okay, I'm sorry, I misunderstood it. It sounded very fancy to me. It's over my head, so I get it. Okay, so now we're qualified. It's really about stage 3, getting connected. That's really where you are, is going to get connected. You make those connections, and opportunity is going to come your way. True or false?
Yes, sir. I think the biggest thing I'm concerned about slightly is not so much the connected part, which is great, but it's more of less of I'm finishing my master's in finance next summer. And so to, basically at the level I'm at in the military, to how long it's going to take in order for me to actually use my master's degree, that body knowledge, in order to get in that space at the right time, so to speak. That's my biggest concern.
Well, again, this is where I'm a little confused, because you're talking about making all these connections, and now I'm hearing about the master's in finance. So if it's moving from the military in 1 year, and the position you ultimately want to get into is going to require the master's in finance, am I understanding that correctly?
They won't require it, but what it will do is keep me competitive, give me competitive advantage, so to speak.
Yeah, but my point is, in 1 year, we want to get you out of the military. So getting you out means you're going to get into the finance area. You may have to enter into, your entry level or whatever that's going to look like for you. You got to get in, right?
Correct. Yeah, but again, I'm looking to stay in the military.
I'm so
For
confused.
a little longer.
I'm so confused.
Okay.
I feel like I've let you down. I don't know where I'm missing the detail. You told me you were out, your contract was up in a year.
So it's going to be up next summer. And so I'm looking at a couple options. One is a cross-training option where I can cross-train to another career field, which will give me a few extra years in the military with doing a new job.
Okay.
And so my question is, in lieu of me being halfway through my master's program right now, I'm trying to consider what is the best option. Maybe I didn't articulate it correctly. My apologies. But I just want to know what the best pathway for me is forward, because I still believe the mission here is very incredible. I just want to get closer to my wheelhouse where I can, utilize my talent at a higher magnitude.
Okay. All right. Okay. Yeah. So option A is re-up and stay in the military and cross-train, which I don't understand what that means, but I don't think it matters. So, okay, cross-train. So you do some of the finance stuff and some other stuff in the military, I guess. Okay, that's option A.
Mm-hmm.
I still I'm not clear on what option B is. I understand it's the master's, but does that mean you're leaving the military in 1 year? That's what I'm having a hard time. You got to tell me what the difference between A and B is. I know what A is. What's B?
Okay, B is going back out in the civilian world if I do choose to do that, and basically find job like everybody else, getting out of the military, finding a private company, and finding where I can use that experience and my skill set and that body knowledge in my finance degree.
Okay, now we got it. Well,
Yes,
to me, it's all about where do we want to end up. So where you want to end up. So which of the two options gets you there faster or gets you there in a better ride, right? So what matters most? Is it getting there quicker, or is it getting there in a more enjoyable experience? Sounds like that's what we're looking at. Does that make sense the way I'm framing that?
That does, Ken. I do appreciate that a lot. No,
so which one is which? Which one gets you there faster or better?
Quicker would be option B, would be to get out in a year. That would be, personally, as of right now, that'd be the more viable option.
Okay, which way were you leaning when you called me?
I was honestly leaning towards B, but because of the mission orient of your proximity principle, A is still kind of attractive. But with my talents and passions, I'm leaning towards B.
Yeah, but I think I think there's some fear holding you back. And so you're letting your heart's kind of trying to tell your brain, well, you really love what you do in the military, and why would you walk away from something that you care about? Is that what I'm understanding?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah, but it's not about that. It's the wrong narrative. It's not about leaving something behind that you've enjoyed. Every step up the ladder, we must leave something behind. True or false?
True.
I mean, you can't take it all with you. So, I use the ladder analogy, and I use the metaphor of climbing Mount Everest. I mean, look, man, where do you want to go? You know where you want to go. You can't stay and climb at the same time. It's time to leave. I think I'd go option B. Option B is the best option for you. That's what you said, not what I said. And so now, to me, it's very, very clear. I don't think there's a wrong choice. I just think there's a better choice. And I think you framed it up as what's right, what's wrong, and I think it's what's best. And
Correct. Yeah,
and I think staying is good. I think leaving is better. Do you agree with that?
I do. I know at the end of the day, I want to return to financial services at some point, and want to be working either in like portfolio management or financial advisory. So, I mean, I know my clear end goal for the long haul.
Yo, I know.
Like that step 7 to give yourself away and things
So,
like that.
so make the right decision. Make the best decision. And the best decision is up to you. It's not up to me. Neither one of these decisions are wrong. I just think you're making excuses for why option A is still on the table. And I think you need to be honest with yourself and go, why am I still holding on to A? And it's okay to ask that. It's okay to answer it. And if the answer comes back that, oh, this and this, and so I want to experience A little bit longer, then I'll be ready to release. It doesn't sound like that's what's really going on. I think you got some fear, and I think you got some doubt, which is normal. And I think fear and doubt is making option A look better than it actually looks. That's what I think. So I'm going to put you on hold to chew on that one. And again, folks, you got to follow your heart. It's what's on the basketball over my shoulder. All right, my time is almost up. Before I let you go, I want you to know that you matter and you do have what it takes. Thank you for joining us. Until next time, this is the Ken Coleman Show. Press on.